my goodness, folks. I have some absolutely explosive information about a lawsuit that threatens to completely destroy Meghan Markle's carefully crafted public image. Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister, is taking her to court in a defamation case that could expose the shocking truth behind the Duchess's picture-perfect facade. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys. What are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, this isn't just another family squabble, my friends. This is a full-blown legal battle that's about to play out in a Florida courtroom, with Samantha seeking justice for what she claims are years of deliberate lies, character assassination, and reputation destruction orchestrated by Meghan and her powerful PR machine. The lawsuit centers around Meghan's repeated claims of growing up as an only child, statements she made during her globally televised royal wedding, her bombshell Oprah interview, and her Netflix documentary series. Samantha alleges these weren't innocent misstatements but calculated lies designed to erase her and their father Thomas from Meghan's narrative. But that's just the tip of this royal iceberg. Samantha claims Meghan's team orchestrated a vicious smear campaign, portraying her as dangerous, unstable, and mentally unbalanced, even falsely suggesting she was on a fixated persons list with Scotland Yard. Despite obtaining official documentation from Scotland Yard confirming she was never on any such list, Samantha says the damage was already done. What makes this case particularly explosive is that Thomas Markle, Meghan's father, who's been recovering from a stroke and currently lives in the Philippines, is reportedly prepared to testify. Can you imagine the courtroom drama when Meghan's own father takes the stand against her? This could be the ultimate family showdown that exposes secrets the Duchess has fought desperately to keep buried. Samantha's allegations paint a disturbing picture of Meghan as someone who systematically discards people once they've served their purpose. She points to Meghan's former best friend Jessica Mulroney and ex-husband Trevor Engelson as examples of this pattern, suggesting current associates like Chrissy Teigen and Jamie Kern-Lima could be next on the chopping block once they've outlived their usefulness. According to Samantha, their father Thomas played an indispensable role in Meghan's life, funding her dance lessons, acting classes, private school tuition, and even arranging visits to production studios that helped launch her career. She can't comprehend how Meghan could simply erase this history and portray him as a virtual stranger after everything he sacrificed for her success. The timing of this lawsuit couldn't be worse for Meghan, who's desperately trying to rebuild her image and secure lucrative brand partnerships following a series of PR disasters. Just as she attempts to rebrand herself as a lifestyle guru with her American Riviera Orchard launch, this case threatens to expose the real Meghan behind the carefully curated facade. What's particularly fascinating about this legal battle is how it represents a profound shift in the Meghan narrative. For years, the mainstream media embraced the Cinderella story of an ordinary American actress who captivated a prince and bravely stood up to the stuffy British establishment. Anyone who challenged this fairy tale, including Samantha, was dismissed as jealous, bitter, or attention-seeking. But now, the tide appears to be turning. With this defamation lawsuit moving forward, more people are beginning to question Meghan's version of events and consider the possibility that there might be another side to this story. Even media outlets that once unquestioningly supported Meghan are starting to raise eyebrows at the growing list of contradictions in her carefully crafted narrative. Samantha's legal team, led by attorney Peter Tickton, is preparing to argue that Meghan's statements weren't just false, but made with malicious intent, knowing they would cause significant harm to Samantha's reputation, emotional well-being, and livelihood. They reportedly have compelling evidence of a coordinated effort to systematically discredit Samantha and silence her attempts to defend herself. The upcoming hearing in Jacksonville represents a critical turning point in this family saga. While Meghan is reportedly frustrated, angered, and deeply concerned by her sister's persistence, Samantha views this as her opportunity to finally reclaim her truth and hold Meghan accountable, regardless of the consequences. What makes this case so compelling is the David versus Goliath dynamic. Samantha, with her limited resources and influence, is taking on one of the most powerful and well-connected women in the world, someone with vast wealth, global fame, and an army of supporters ready to defend her at all costs. It's a modern-day battle between power and truth that has captivated audiences worldwide. Samantha acknowledges the significant challenges she faces, including potential biases within the legal system, Meghan's overwhelming influence, and the difficulty of overcoming years of negative public perception. Yet, she remains steadfast in her determination to move forward, even working on a second book that will provide her unfiltered perspective on the events that have transpired. For Meghan, this lawsuit represents her worst nightmare. A legal proceeding that could force her to confront her past under oath, address allegations of dishonesty and manipulation, and potentially expose contradictions in the narrative she's so carefully constructed. Unlike media interviews or Netflix documentaries, a courtroom doesn't allow for careful editing or PR spin. Royal observers note that this case goes far beyond a simple family disagreement. It raises profound questions about truth, accountability, and the immense power of celebrity to shape narratives. It challenges us to consider what happens when someone with unlimited resources and influence uses that power to potentially silence and discredit those with legitimate grievances. The ramifications of this lawsuit extend beyond the Markle family drama. It could potentially impact how we view other aspects of Meghan's story, including her conflicts with the royal family. If Samantha's allegations of manipulation and misrepresentation prove credible, it might lead people to reevaluate Meghan's claims about her treatment within the monarchy. For Harry, this lawsuit creates an uncomfortable dilemma. As Meghan's husband and staunchest defender, he stood by her version of events without question. But as a man who values loyalty and family bonds, he must now reckon with serious allegations that his wife deliberately erased and maligned her own relatives for the sake of a more sympathetic narrative. As this legal battle unfolds, the world will be watching with bated breath to see whether Samantha Markle finally gets her day in court, whether the truth, whatever it may be, ultimately prevails, and whether justice will be served in a way that restores her reputation and holds those responsible for her suffering accountable. What's certain is that this case has the potential to completely transform how we view Meghan Markle. If Samantha's allegations are substantiated, it could shatter the carefully constructed image of a compassionate humanitarian fighting against powerful institutions. Instead, we might see something far more complex. A calculated strategist willing to sacrifice family relationships and manipulate the truth for the sake of crafting a more advantageous personal narrative. The most poignant aspect of this family drama is how it reflects universal themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the search for authenticity in a world increasingly dominated by carefully curated public personas. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about the stories we tell about ourselves, the people we leave behind as we pursue success, and the ultimate price of fame and adulation. As this lawsuit proceeds through the legal system, both Meghan and Samantha face potentially life-altering consequences. For Meghan, her carefully constructed brand and future commercial prospects hang in the balance. For Samantha, this represents perhaps her final opportunity to reclaim her narrative and restore her reputation after years of what she describes as deliberate and malicious character assassination. Regardless of the ultimate outcome, this case highlights the immense power of narrative control in the modern celebrity landscape. It demonstrates how easily public perception can be shaped by those with the resources to craft compelling stories, and how difficult it can be for those without such power to challenge those narratives, even when armed with evidence and truth. As this extraordinary family drama continues to unfold in the public eye, one thing is certain. The fairy tale of the American actress who captured a prince's heart has given way to something far more complex, contentious, and potentially devastating. The coming months will determine whether Meghan's carefully crafted image survives this challenge or crumbles under the weight of legal scrutiny and family testimony. Ta-ta, and bye for now.